Oh, I want to talk about House of
Thanks,
Dragons and how it's actually good now.
Is it good now? Not just middling
I think
anymore.
last episode got me on board. First of all, it was cool and inspirational in that way that I think we all like, but not because of a battle, because of something else. I won't spoil anything, but the king did a very cool thing. I am definitely Team Green on this one. I have to be. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. I know Woody hasn't started the show, but for those who know, they know, I guess. The show's pretty good. It's a bit of a soap opera, but Matt, what's his name? Matt Smith. Is it Matt Smith? I think it is.
I think so.
That's such a simple name. I keep forgetting it then.
He's made up.
He saves the show. He saves the fucking show. He's so good. And they introduce a new character, or at least they're aging up these characters as we go. We keep moving forward in time, significant amounts. So they just recast children. And so a child got recast, and it was like, oh shit, he's a problem now. I was a little worried about him when he was a child, but he went from, I don't know, a bully of a 12-year-old to a grown-ass sword-wielding man in one episode. And he's clearly looking for some trouble. He's the scariest character in the show now. He's got an eye patch. He's got that long, crazy blonde hair. And
he's for real with the eye patch.
Yeah, you see him earn the eye patch in the previous episode. So yeah, pretty good show. They could still, it's not great, but I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'll say that for it. And that's a first so far. None of these episodes so far have had me be like, ooh, can't wait for next week. But this one did, because I don't know, I really liked what that guy did.
That's where I'm at. I think I've watched the first 3, and after I finished the third one, no part of me was like, oh, I gotta find out. It's kind of oh, okay, yeah. At some point, I'll see what goes on.
Yeah, I'm current. I think a new episode might come out tonight. Is it Thursday nights? Does it come out?
I thought it was Sunday. Wasn't Game of Thrones Sunday?
I honestly don't know, but yeah, it's a pretty good show. It's getting better. The guy who plays the king is tremendous. He won me over. At first, I wasn't a big fan, but at this point, I'm a real big fan of his. I don't like the blonde girl. I don't give a fuck about her. I think she's a dirty whore, and I hope they kill her. I hope her children get their
This
brains.
sounds discriminatory against dirty whores.
I hope they bash the. All right, so I will spoil this a little bit. You won't care. So there's an instance of who's the baby daddy. That's a thing that's happening, and it's a very everybody knows, but everybody's afraid to say anything kind of situation. And what you have is the husband was black, the wife was white, the children are white with brown hair. The wife is a Targaryen, that crazy blonde hair, and the husband again is black with white dreads. And everybody is supposed to look the other way, but at these 2 brown-haired boys. And the whole family's there, and everybody's tall and blonde and long, thin faces. And here are these round-faced, brown-haired boys with curly hair. And everybody's just like, what the fuck? And the black guy's brother is like, they're carrying, I don't care who fucks who. That's my name. We're the last of the Valerians. We're the last. It's up to us. There are no more. And I started thinking, and he's supposed to be the bad guy somehow in the scenario, mind you.
But their skin isn't that of someone who has a black father.
They're white as fuck. And I started thinking to myself, imagine if this was reversed. I would be I'd be like, this woke shit. Can you believe it? If they did the reverse, if they had white husband, white wife, but the child was clearly mixed race, I'd be like, how is nobody spinning them off? But it's the same thing. The kid's clearly 100% white.
Yeah. And everyone knows they're fibbing, but they don't care.
Oh, they care. They care, but
they do care.
You can't really say much, What are you gonna say?
Yeah, if they're the rich, powerful family, you kind of just have to go, oh.
That's the crux of the show, by the way. It's those kids don't look right. That's not gonna fly. And
that's the crux of the first show too.
What show are we talking about?
Game of Thrones.
My wife and I are rewatching Game of Thrones, and I'm having a blast with it. Now, I remember us discussing what was going to happen next in Game of Thrones, and people who watch the show really got a kick out of it. I think come this red wedding, it's going to go pretty well for the Starks. And people were having a good time with our takes on it. Now I get to be that guy. One, unbeknownst to me, I know everything about this show. I am an expert in Game of Thrones somehow. So I am unstumpable with all these questions she's asking me and all these relationships. I didn't realize I knew it that well.
For years.
Yeah. and so she's like, pause it. Okay, wait a minute. Does Daenerys fuck her brother? Because he's touching her boobs at this point. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. You kind of think it is, but it's not. And I'm having a blast with it. But she can't watch anything right now.
Yeah, I can't go back. I can't go back and watch it. I haven't. Who knows? Maybe 10 years from now, I'll watch it again and be like, oh, now that we've got the Jon Snow show in the bag, it's cool to go back and start from the very beginning. Because I think that's supposed to come at the end of the year or early next year, the fucking Jon Snow show, man. I'm psyched for that. Like, that's what I want.
Really?
Bring Kit Harington back and bring his redheaded wife in with her fine ass.
She's dead.
Bring her back to life. It's Game of Thrones, baby. He was dead too. Let's go.
That makes him a perfect couple.
Or just ham-handedly do it where he's like, your Ygritte sister.
It's the same actress.
Really good impression.
What is your
very
name?
accurate.
You've got the same mole on the left side of your pussy.
Tell me, sister of Ygritte, what is your name?
Also,
Oh
Ygritte.
no, you're different because she never would. Toss me salad.
It's actually Ygritte. All right, I'll just carry on carrying you Ygritte then.
Calling you Ygritte. Your sister had chlamydia.
I'm very excited for that. I hope it's good. I hope that those the D&D guys. I hope they have nothing to do with it.
Fuck them.
They stink. They botched.
The one bit of solace I can take is that the reason they rushed it is because they were supposed to be starting a new Star Wars trilogy that they were supposed to write, and then after a Game of Thrones just collapsed the way it is, they lost the contract. I'm like, so there is some poetic justice in the world, like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about that too. I'm happy to see Amazon's show. I won't say failing, but I get recommended a lot of videos for that show for whatever reason. I think it's because I watch so much Lord of the Rings content in general, and I noticed that there are these videos with like 2,000 views that say a masterpiece. Galadriel is king. And then there are these videos with 350,000 views that are like the woke nonsense. Woke nonsense blames fans again for their woes. And
it's really not doing well.
I would say it's not doing well with a very like core group of people that just despise it. There's definitely
they wanted it to be like they wanted it to be as big as Game of Thrones was.
They absolutely did. They've spent $1 billion.
And it's not even in the same arena as how big Game of Thrones
what I'm seeing, a lot of like hardcore Tolkien people are not happy about it, and then like the broader population really likes it, but the people who know the lore really well tend to not enjoy it very much.
I mean, like,
I haven't watched it yet.
In my
I can't
life,
really speak to it.
Like in my life, no one I know who's like not in either of those groups. Like they're kind of just casual. Like they like the Lord of the Rings movies. They don't give a shit. Like none of them are talking about it. None of them are watching it. I don't think any of my friends have watched it. I have friends who are watching the new Game of Thrones show, but not the new Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Taylor is I don't know. I've never met or probably even encountered anyone who is as big a Lord of the Rings fan as Taylor is.
Lovely.
And I don't know up from down in this thing, but I suspect he is the most biased reporter in the history of
you
Lord
mean
of
the
the
most
Rings.
well-informed?
He's like, listen, you don't. Me and all my friends don't like this show. So what more do you need to know?
I mean, but like, think about this. Think about, let's say I got put in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as someone who has zero respect for it. Maybe I actively dislike it and I want to remake it into my own thing. And then I present it to you and you're like, this isn't fucking Marvel. I know Marvel. This isn't. And I go, not only is this the best thing in the world, you're wrong for not liking it. You're bad for not liking my reworked version of this. And it's like, no, of course, Taylor just doesn't respect the history of Marvel or any of that. And he just took this character and was like, oh, this is this character's backstory? Not anymore. I'm going to squish you into this box. And now you're this kind of guy.
Yeah, but
that's how it would be.
I can't be alone in that. I would have never heard of the Silmarillion had it not been for you. Did I pronounce it correctly? I think I did.
Silmarillion.
Close. Yeah, Silmarillion. And like, you're right. That's why I said like that's a level of nobody who's ever read the Silmarillion is liking the show. Guaranteed. Like,
exactly.
The people who are that nerdy are like, The kind of
All of
autists who
them?
are like, what?
I will say,
All
one of
of
my
them.
mutuals, guy who's been on my show, has a Lord of the Rings podcast, Don Marshall. He likes the show, and he's very big on it.
He has
but
to. He has a
it-
Lord of the Rings show podcast.
But it also, the thing is, it also fits his politics. So I think.
Oh,
that's
is it political? Is that?
I mean, not in the sense that they're sitting there telling you that like there's not elves being like, thank God for Biden, but no, but it's very obviously like trying to be more diverse.
I did see the
and-
anti-union speech. Did you see that? Like,
No.
like there was like a clip where like, because obviously Jeff Bezos very much against unions, and like
Funny how that
there was a clip of all these like men being like wanting to union, like making union workers appear foolish, short-sighted, and silly, and it was just so jarring to see a clip in the Lord of the Rings universe where it's like, why the fuck you're making points about unions? Like, like stop it. This isn't what Lord of the Rings is about.
The problem I'm having more than anything is like, I don't mind if a show has a political message. I don't mind if a movie has a political message. Everything's biased to one direction or the other. But from what I have seen, from the clips I have seen, the writing just isn't good. Like, and when you have a political message, I feel like you need to work it into the story and have it not necessarily be subtle, but definitely not hit people over the head with it. And it very much feels like when they have a political message, they're just slapping you in the face with it, which I just think that's just shitty writing. Like, don't do that. That's the problem I have. Is like you don't get to excuse shitty writing by saying, oh well, you don't like it because you're racist. No, I don't like it because the writing's bad. Like, I have absolutely no problem with there being a black Valyrian family in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Because it's
I don't think like people really cared about, or maybe I'm disconnected. I don't think people cared about that with House of the Dragon because they were like, this is in the lore with George R.R. Martin. Like this.
I
is,
actually
like,
don't
connected.
think it is. I'm pretty sure the Valyrians aren't the Valyrians, the family, not the Valyrians, the race. But in the book, I don't think the Valyrians are.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I meant like, but it was him. He's overseeing it. And if it's fine for him to be like, that doesn't really matter if it's exactly or not. I don't really care about that as long as the story's good. Like,
I saw a good thing with Joe Rogan talking about it, and he was like, but that's a prequel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's black people, right? Yeah. Well, I've seen Game of Thrones. There ain't no black people. What happened to them?
Yeah.
What? And the guy's like, I don't know. Joe's like, no. What happened to them?
They do seem to have addressed that.
and it's like I'm watching the show and I'm like, I think we're finding out what happened to him.
Man, between this story and the Game of Thrones, some real shit goes down.
Yeah, it's
like,
I think they did a good job of solving that plot hole with this one.
Yeah. We're finding out what happened to him. It's so funny. Like we're talking about the whole thing. I got the things sitting on my desk over here. Like I dug these out the other day. These are the only DVDs I didn't throw away.
I'm rewatching the Two Towers. My wife and I are rewatching it this past weekend.
I don't know what to do with these though. I kind of want to like make some kind of artwork out of them. Maybe like, I don't know, put them in epoxy or something or resin or whatever you call it.
Oh yes, I think you should get into crafting.
Because like there's like it's like a cool little art book and it's got all the stuff in it. But like
it is. I have the same one.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I mean,
I think I have the same one too.
But I want them to re-release. I want a 4K extended version set just like this in a steel book.
I think they did do a 4K.
Yeah, I want 4K. Yeah, I want that. Whenever they do that, I'll buy it. But I don't think they do it.
From what I heard, they did do a 4K version of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it looked wrong. Like because they had to invent so many pixels that it just like didn't look right. And
interesting.
It kind of felt video gamey.
Yeah, I don't know what they filmed. I don't know what they filmed it with. The
original?
Yeah, I don't know what it shot on.
Yeah, it'd be a good thing to know.
It's neither here nor there. But yeah, I would definitely. I don't own much physical media anymore. I've got a handful of movies